Welcome back, eSIM Studios YouTube channel. We are live on this Monday, June 1st, 2026. I want to welcome everybody in. Thank you for joining me today. I don't know what happened to the audio, and StreamYard is tripping today, so we shall get some more background music started. This will be a real quick one today. I just had one or two things to discuss real quick with everybody. Did you see this? The new iPhone Ultra information. We got new leaks, new confirmed details on the Apple iPhone Ultra. Let me share my screen here real quick. Take a look at this real fast, because it's interesting what Apple is doing with this iPhone Ultra. So it looks like, it appears that it is confirmed that the iPhone Ultra is getting the M14 OLED panel. This M14 OLED panel, not a bad panel by any means, but while they're equipping the M14 OLED panel on the iPhone Ultra, they're giving the iPhone 18 Pro and 18 Pro Max the M16 OLED panel, which is much more brighter, much more power efficient, which will help on battery life, and should be a little more vivid, just a little bit, but you're going to see major gains in efficiency and brightness. Now, it makes you wonder why they're not putting that on the foldable. I have no clue. Could be due to cost concerns. The M16 OLED panel costs more than the M14, but it makes you wonder. I think they put the M14 OLED panel on other foldables, because on first thought I'm like, well, maybe it's because they don't have a foldable panel, but that's not the case, because I know, now that I'm thinking about it, they do have M14 OLED panels on other foldables. So look, it's probably coming down to cost concerns for some reasons. Obviously, as everything comes down to cost. But interesting set of events here. Now, we do know the devices that are confirmed with the brand new Samsung OLED panel is now the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max, as well as the new Pixel 11 series is getting the M16 Samsung OLED panel. Very interesting there, but we shall see how this is going to go. I still believe the Motorola Razr Fold has got the iPhone Ultra beat, as well as all other foldables beat, but that's just me. As you know, I'm not a foldable person, so I honestly could care less. But I think the Motorola device has got the iPhone Ultra beat. Probably take better camera quality. I don't know. We do know that Apple's going to upgrade the cameras, the actual sensors in the 18 Pro and Pro Max, but what we don't know is if those same upgraded sensors are going to the Ultra, to the foldable, iPhone foldable. So we'll just have to wait and see when that time comes, but I still got my money on the Motorola Razr Fold. There is a new player in the ARM sorry, there's a brand new player in the ARM chipset computer world, desktop world, laptop world, and that is NVIDIA. So as you know, the x86, which is like the old traditional style of CPU for Windows and or desktop computers, which we're used to AMD, Intel, the old classic, now they look classic, CPUs. Well, Qualcomm entered the PC world with their Qualcomm ARM chipset. Well, now it looks like we have another player. So Qualcomm's not going to be by themselves in the ARM world powering a desktop computer and or laptop. NVIDIA unveiled their brand new RTX Spark today that gives and shows decent performance, right? And staying right up there with the competition. It beats the leader in the chipset world for computers, the Apple M5. but it also is not as fast and or as good as some other uh, benchmarks. So we actually have brand new devices with this new NVIDIA RTX Spark. Apparently, that's going to be the name, kind of like how Qualcomm Snapdragon. Their new chipset's going to be called NVIDIA RTX Spark, and they're going to unveil a mini PC and an OLED flip laptop, kind of like a, well, that's what I'm using right now, like a 360-degree laptop. Pretty neat here. This kind of came out of nowhere. We did not get any word of this leading up to today. We'll have to wait and see. I think these are not ready to purchase just quite yet, but I think they're literally right around the corner. As you can see, that laptop's pretty freaking thin. It's just about as thick as that HDMI port right down there. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. I'll keep an eye on this and see when these will be available. No word on pricing, availability. It says that they are adopting and picking up more partners to use this NVIDIA RTX Spark chipset, and it brings 20 ARM-based CPU cores coupled with 6,144 CUDA cores based on Blackwell architecture. So it sounds like a pretty powerful chip. We'll have to see. Now, they do say, and they did show on a demonstration, that it can play on a laptop on battery power, can play AAA games, and do it at, what was it? 4K, or it was at 60 frames per second at 1440p. Pretty impressive. We'll have to see where this goes. I don't know if Acer is going to develop one with this chipset. If HP will, I'm sure they will. But looks like Qualcomm has new competition. So excited to see where this goes. Certainly came out of nowhere. I don't know. It's so the purpose of the iPhone Ultra is so Apple people can go goo goo gaga over these things, because it makes zero sense to me. I don't know, and it's going to be very expensive. They're going to sell a gazillion of these things, but I will certainly not be one of them. Hey, how's it going? Same to you. Thank you very much. Now, before we get out of here, I told you it was going to be a quick one. What do you look for in a smartphone? So when you purchase a brand new smartphone, what do you look for? Now, price is always going to be the bottom line. I don't care who you're talking. Well, I shouldn't say that, because there's been a time or two in the past where there might be a phone that I really, really, really want, and I can't find one, right? And I'm just like, well, but then one comes across the table and it's a little more expensive than I had anticipated, but I want it really bad, right? So I'll get it. But that's in rare circumstances. I'm talking about in general. What do you look for in a smartphone? And I guess I was going to say outside of price, but I guess we can't really. Well, let's do this. Let's take price and move it to the side. Spec wise, what do you look for? Is it CPU? Is it RAM? Is it screen? Is it battery life? Is it storage? Or if it's hard to just choose one, what is your top three? Because I think I have like a top three. I know I got more than that, but I think what I look for, while I let y'all think about it, I think what I look for is probably CPU and modem. That's a huge thing for me, since I'm in a dead spot. It just is. And this is going to be different for everybody, but I think for me it'll be CPU slash modem. Second after that comes RAM. Now, not so much RAM. I take that back. Back in the day it would, because when they were releasing, well, I'm definitely not doing phones with 8 gigs of RAM. That's a non-starter for me. I can obviously do 12. Samsung comes with 12. So RAM not so much, because I'm just not using a phone with 8 gigs, but I can use a phone with 12. I prefer 16, so that's not a real big deal. So I would say, and size is not that bad, not that much of a factor, because there's just not that many small phones, right? I know there is, but a large majority of phones are 6.6 and up, so that's not even a deal. So I would say CPU. Probably, honestly, as of lately, I think battery life is high up on my list. And I would say battery life can mean a lot of things, but I'm on my phone all day, every day. So the OnePlus 15 is probably the king of that. But battery life is a big deal to me. Cameras. Where do the cameras sit? Can't even take pictures if you don't have any battery life. So I think mine CPU / modem, battery life, and then cameras. I know there's a lot of people out there that take a shot every now and then, but I actually take a lot of pictures. So, and I do it to test them out and for the YouTube channel. So I would say, let me list it in order: CPU, modem, battery life, cameras. After that, most all displays are OLED. Most of them are, I can't tell the difference between a 2K display and a 1.5K display. I just can't. So that's not a big deal, right? It's all, generally they're all pretty good at this point. An underrated feature, and here's another thing that we really don't have to worry about, is updates. Now, well, let's see. Pixel's updated every month. Samsung's updated every month. Nothing's updated once a month. I think OnePlus is updated once a month. The Motorola flagships are updated once a month. So that's really a non-issue, because just a couple years ago, you'd have to think about that stuff. So the list of prerequisites that you would have to have, or that you go through mentally before you get a phone, is kind of getting slim. It's kind of only coming to a handful of things, because as I mentioned, with updates, with screen, with size, they're all relatively pretty good. Even camera quality, there's really not a phone that takes bad photos. It seems like the photo quality is either good or really good. There's no bad camera quality, and that's a good thing as we move forward. So the short list is CPU, battery, and I guess camera quality. Now, another feature that has gone out the window is refresh rate. That used to be a big deal. Now everything's 120. So I really hate using this iPhone because it is slow as molasses. You want a good battery life, fast and snappy. Yeah, that's mine's got to be fast. Very fast. Huh. Yeah, resellability. That is true. You want to keep something, if you go through phones a lot, like I do, like some of y'all do, you want something you can obviously resell at a decent value. Get your money back for it so you can buy something else. As I was mentioning, phones have been holding their value very, very well as of recently. Been shocked just over this last 6 months. None of the prices are coming down. Like, there's a $50 price reduction. And I think a lot of that has to do with the economy. The iPhone 17 base has 120. They say 120, but it feels like 60, to be honest with you. It's just slow. I was going to try and capture that on a video, but you can't really, it's hard to see on a video. I don't know what it is. Maybe the animations aren't fast. It just feels slow. It just feels really, really, really slow. Let's see here. Did you see this new Z Fold 8? Battery, charging. How could I forget charging? I feel like such a dumbass. Yeah, charging has got to be right up there. Samsung's gotten better, but there's nothing like having that's why the OnePlus 15 is such a unique phone, because it lasts for 2 days and it takes like 20 something minutes. I'll just say round it up to 30 minutes to charge. You plug it in, you turn around, you come right back to your phone and it's charged. Motorola's good at that now. iPhone seems like it takes forever. But fast charging is a very underrated feature. Very. Full US network coverage value. The OnePlus 15 was a no-brainer. Yeah, I feel like that's why I have the OnePlus 15 as the absolute best phone you can use, you can buy to date right now, because it essentially fills all the boxes. Now, could it be better in camera quality? Sure. But it's pretty freaking good. Like, it's doable, meaning like not many people are going to be disappointed. Can you really be picky and, oh, well, all those terms that the photographers use. I'm not a photographer, so forgive me, but you know what I'm talking about. Oh, the contrast here and the punchiness and all this stuff. Whatever. Does it look good or does it not look good? It looks good to me. And I think a majority of people will agree with me. So that's why I think it's on the very top of the list. Plus, it's not as expensive as its competitors. Hundreds of dollars less, and you get a great value in that OnePlus 15. That's why I think it's the best smartphone you can buy, honestly. It's got the full package. It essentially has everything I just mentioned rolled into one phone. So it's like, well, duh, why wouldn't you be using that? So, yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try and do a video on this tomorrow, because I've mentioned this a number of times. It's hard for me to describe. I may just have to like record with a couple of different phones to see if I can catch it right. Maybe 30 frames per second, maybe 24 frames per second, maybe 60 frames. 60 frames per second would probably be the best, because it'll capture the fast, high-speed Android operating system. And if it was recording at 60, and if I told you that my iPhone felt slow, it should capture that, no? I'm gonna record something tomorrow and upload it and see if we can tell. I'm telling you, I can finally do. You know what I should do? Maybe y'all can help me. Does iOS have like a developer's option where I can? I know I did this, but it was maybe a year or two ago, and I just forgot. You can show the refresh rate on the screen of the iPhone, just like on an Android device, correct? I know you can. Maybe I just need to Google it like everybody else. But it just hit me right now. Really? It's cool, man. I know when you have a nice shooting device, you tend to take a lot more pictures. 4K 60 is the standard. For what are we talking about? Just video. Normally I don't shoot in 4K 60. I did for like a 2 or 3 month stretch. But actually, you know what? I need to start doing that, because the reason why I stopped recording for this YouTube channel, not on these live streams, but just for videos, case reviews, I used to shoot in 4K, but then I stopped and went back to 1080p just because the file size was enormous. But that's when I had Wi-Fi 6. Now I got Wi-Fi 7. The files upload in just a couple of seconds. So I'll probably go back to 4K. Did you get black or did you get sandstorm or sandstone? I think the OnePlus 15 has 4.95 rating. Best Buy, pretty much every single. Wow. Yeah, I know it. I know it's up there. I was looking at that last month. I think it's got 4.8, 4.9. Battery performance and charging speed. I think what's pretty common right now, as these phone companies progress and kind of eliminate some of these things that we would have to worry about, I think there's going to be like a handful of things that all of us are going to say, just in different orders. But what might be important for me, it might be at my number 1 or number 2 slot, might be at your number 3 or number 4, but I think they're all going to be relatively the same. And that's what these phone companies, that's what they're trying to hit. And that's what frustrates me about companies like Google Pixel and their 200 charging cycle limit, right? It's like they're taking something that I have in my, whatever, the top 2, 3 or 4 things that I absolutely have to have or that I look for in each and every phone. They're just eliminating that off the list. And now I got to eliminate that phone off of my list because now I refuse to use one of their phones if they're going to do that. I mean, it's just I still can't believe they're doing this. So no, I'm not going to buy a new Pixel this year. What other company? I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Who else did that? Somebody else eliminated. Damn it, man. Well, it's like with Motorola. They're only giving updates essentially to their only top 2 phones. Well, they have actually some really good mid-range phones that I would love to purchase and use, but I'm kind of hesitating because are they going to update this once every 4 months? It's stuff like that where if these companies could just hit on just these simple things, I say simple, but come on now, I think I would buy it, and I think a lot of other people would buy it too. Like I think a lot of these companies are shooting themselves in the foot by not including simple things. Now, I don't expect every phone to charge at 120 watts. I don't expect every single phone to have, freaking Oppo Find X9 Ultra sensors, but at the very least, give me monthly updates. And again, most companies are there. I think it's just Motorola. But dude, update your phones once a month and you'll sell a lot more phones. I don't know why they haven't figured that out yet. But it's little things like Samsung with this Fold 8. Like, why are they still putting shitty camera sensors on a $2,000 phone? Like, stuff like this. And look, it does come down to money. I get it. But I don't know, then charge $2,200 for it, but put the best sensors in it. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's going to spend $2,000, I think they would be happy to spend an extra $200 on it if it had the best camera sensors in it. That's just me, but I don't know. This stuff kind of rubs me the wrong way, and I think that's why I've never purchased a foldable. Now, I have had the flips, but look, I don't buy the flips to take pictures. I purchased the flips in the past to have fun with. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a fun phone to have. You can fold it in half, and it's like, size of a little square. Look, as you can see here are real life photos. You know what? That's not a good photo. Here's somebody that's using it but has a case on it. Just makes me wonder what sensors they're going to put in these. I'm sure they're going to be shitty. In fact, I think we found out last week they're going to be the same old six-year-old sensors in here. I don't think they're going to switch over the foldables to the brand new sensors that the S27 series are going to have until the following year. So you're still going to have a Fold 8, Flip 8 with shitty sensors, and it's not going to be until the what are we on? Yeah, Fold 9 series that you're going to see better sensors in here. And yeah, the price is probably going to go up because it's going up on the S27 series. Let me see if I can find, there was another article here with better photos instead of this guy just sitting here. But as you can see, if I was a foldable person, I think I would like the smaller one. And remember, the smaller one is going to take the name the smaller square looking one is going to take the name Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8. It's the traditional style one. It's this one on the left here that they're going to call Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra. So they're switching the names. So the Z Fold 8 wide is not necessarily a thing. It's just going to be called Z Fold 8. And then the traditional looking one, they're going to add that Ultra name on the end of it. Newsflash, Samsung. It is not an Ultra. Sorry. Let me see here. But the squared one looks cool. And if I did like foldables, I'd probably get the square one. It just looks like it just fits in your hand better. Especially when you open it up, it opens up to like a horizontal viewing experience instead of a square experience, which looks weird. And you got the black bar on the top, black bar on the bottom. Let me see if I can find better pictures for you. They still call it wide, but it's officially not going to be called wide if you saw me searching. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Y'all probably saw this, but that's what it's going to look like. So I think that's a really cool form factor. I think Samsung, again, I don't know what sensors Apple's putting in their Ultra. They're foldable, but I'm sure it'll probably beat whatever Samsung puts in this foldable. So that does suck. But you know, it looks decent. I'm just not buying it. Aha, I knew we had something else. So here we got a video. Let me see if I can expand this. Now that's a dummy unit, meaning it's not a working unit, but it's there for the looks. Let me see the other one. I do like that form factor. And why can't I get out of here? There we go. Does this one move? Oh no. It was just that one GIF. Does it look like there's still a gap? So look at the right side where the two OLED screens meet, or where they should meet, and then look at the left side. The left side, the OLED panels that fold together do meet, and then there's a little gap here on the right side where they should meet. So I thought they improved on that leading up to the current Fold 7 series. It essentially folds completely flat, and now we're going back to a gap, which is interesting. Don't really understand that, but I do like that form factor. Looks pretty cool. Yep. Any Chinese phone smokes Samsung, and that's probably why they have not officially released any here, unfortunately. Again, OnePlus 15 is better than the S26 Ultra, so the Violet, yeah. Oh, the Violet. Yeah, you're talking about the OnePlus 15, right? That's one I have never seen. I've seen on in person. I've seen on a couple videos, but I bet it looks really neat in certain light. Yeah, the Samsung is screwing that stylus up, aren't they? They need to go back to Bluetooth. They need it available on multiple devices, not just the S26 Ultra. Like you need to be able to use a stylus on the foldables. What about the trifold? Was that stylus enabled or no? Because I just cannot remember. If not, shame on Samsung. What are they doing? You can use the Motorola stylus on the Fold and the Signature. Like, what are we doing here? So many mistakes. I don't know what. Sometimes I get so frustrated with these companies because it's just like no-brainers that we wouldn't even think twice about, and they don't enable it on their phone. No, it wasn't. Damn, man. You're paying $3,000 for that thing. Insane. Well, gentlemen, I appreciate the time. I got to get out of here. Thank you very much. It was a short one. I owe you. It'll be a much more longer. In fact, may even do a giveaway tomorrow. So I wanted to get in here, though, and see how everybody was doing. And I hope you had a fantastic weekend. But check me out tomorrow. I'll schedule it early, even though it didn't help me today. I scheduled it, I think, for like 2 p.m. and just now going live. But Mondays are my busiest days, so I do apologize about that. I'll try to schedule it at an appropriate time tomorrow afternoon, and I will try my hardest not to be tardy and or late. So, you can't even buy an S Pen Pro anymore either. Yeah, I had the S Pen Pro with my Galaxy tablets. I used to love that thing. And then you could use that with the phone or on the tablet. I think you could still do that with the S Pen on the S26 Ultra, but the S Pen Pro had Bluetooth, I think, though, right? It was more fat. It was more like this, like a that I use this one for my laptop. It's kind of like this. Right, it was kind of fatter, but anyways, let me get out of here. Yeah, I appreciate the time, and hope everybody has a fantastic evening, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.
Yeah. Woo.
I just need my space right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, I'm on my way to a brand new kit.